Hi, I'm Donata.
And I'm Jason. And
And
this
this
is
is our
our story. I was born in Pennsylvania on November 9th, 1993, but moved to California when I was 2 years old. I'd like to say I was born in the cold, though.
Please, you were born in a cold?
Yes, also, this is my turn. Respect the rules, please. Okay, anyways, I grew up with mom and dad until I was 10. Then one of the biggest events happened in my life. My twin sisters, Jennifer and Jacqueline, were born. I frequently visited Taiwan to see family, but it was during elementary school when I really learned Chinese. And that's why I'm better than Donata at Chinese. My grandparents were a huge part of my life. Growing up, I loved video games, played basketball, and was kind of a skater boy.
Okay, that's only because of his helmet hair.
As a teen, I was pretty cool if I do say so myself, and even rocked a long hair phase.
What?
I met Christ when I was in college, joined campus ministry where I really grew up in my faith, went on a mission trip to Thailand, worked 2 years as an EMT, and finally came to medical school. And that's when I met Donata.
And his life was changed forever, thanks to me. I was born in Boston on March 27, 1998, but I grew up in Framingham to a loving mom, grandparents, and a twin brother who tried to copy everything I did.
Bruh.
See, Jason, I was actually born in a cold. Anyways, my childhood was filled with Chinese school, piano lessons, basketball games, and swimming lessons. I was a smart, curious, outgoing, and strong-willed child.
And she still is.
I met my best friend Andrea in kindergarten, and in second grade we became besties. Shout out to my maid of honor! We bonded over yearly Christmas hangouts and summers at their Cape home. Growing up in church, I attended youth group, which really shaped who I am today. I led worship team, small groups, and games, and developed lifelong friendships. High school was filled with taking AP classes, marching band, and track. With a desire to serve others, I studied nursing at Simmons, where I spent my time serving my family group at church and unfortunately studying. It was during this time that I really grew in my relationship with God by being challenged in ministry and seeing His faithfulness through it all. During the summers, I was able to do unique experiences like study Spanish in Spain or teach women's health to communities of Malawi, Africa. But it was the summer of 2018 that changed everything at the Whole Person Care Preceptorship in Redlands, California.
So I heard about this preceptorship because it was partnered with faculty at my med school. I was a first year med student at the time, so this preceptorship would happen the summer after my first year. Usually, med school students would try to boost their resumes with research. I was torn. I wanted to attend, but was struggling to commit because of this worldly desire to build my resume. As I prayed more about it, I felt God nudging me to surrender and attend the preceptorship.
After my first semester of clinical rotations in nursing school, I saw how much emotional and spiritual care was overlooked in the healthcare settings. I wasn't sure how to respond or care for patients sometimes when they shared their struggles. I had heard about this preceptorship through a friend, and I was super excited to go. This would be a 5-week missions program in California that trains Christian healthcare professionals on how to provide a whole person care to their patients, caring for their physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. I remember the first day when everyone in the program met each other. There were about 25 healthcare students from across the country, and I noticed Jason because he was one of the other few Asians.
When I first met Donata, she greeted me with the biggest smile. She approached me and said hi. Turns out we had a mutual friend from where I was from.
Okay, so a secret is that I actually stalked everyone in our group, and out of everyone, I had one mutual friend with Jason on Facebook. So when we were talking, I pretended like I didn't know anything about him, and was casually leading the conversation to our mutual friend.
She's truly endearing in every way, as I've come to find out more and more. Also, she's a good Facebook stalker and detective. But from that point on, I wanted to be around her. She was so easy to talk to and so beautiful. I tried to be near her, whether at the same table or the same car.
I also tried to hang out with him as much as possible. On the second day of the program, we talked about our families and background, and I was really drawn to his quiet confidence, how well he listened, and I felt like I was the only person in the world. I liked him, but I was scared of my feelings because I didn't want to get hurt. I filled out a prayer journal and poured out my feelings and prayed to God, asking for some sort of affirmation or sign. I felt that God validated my feelings through my friends at the program.
One time at the beach, Donata came up to me and we somehow split off from the group. She asked me about my faith and family, and we had a really good deep conversation while walking along the coast, overlooking the cliffs. By that point, there was no doubt in my mind that I was crushing hard on Donata.
Okay, so another secret is I actually ran up to him. It was by no means casual, if I'm being completely honest. And with every time we spent together, there were little moments that drew me closer to him. One time, we were having our own little conversation about Harry Potter, and I completely lost track of time, making me late to the next training session. I mean, anyone who knows me knows that my version of on time is around 10 to 15 minutes early. But that's how I found myself to be around Jason, quite frequently, always losing track of time and not paying attention to anything else in the world but him. He is so captivating and special.
Another favorite memory of mine is when we played basketball with a small group of people. Donata was going to watch The Incredibles, but ended up playing basketball with us. Because of me, of course. We watched The Incredibles another day with other friends from our church, but somehow, curiously, they all ended up bailing last minute. So, it was our first pseudo date. I was a bit nervous because I don't like to hang out with another girl one-on-one, but Donata was very happy. And I was too.
What also drew me to Jason was our similarities and what we wanted in the future. One time, we were watching a Doctors Without Borders video, and he told me his desire to serve the underserved as a doctor. As a nurse, I had a very similar desire. We were also talking in a group of what we looked for in a future partner, and Jason had said that the most important thing to him was that his future partner had the same vision as him for how they'd live their lives. I asked him, what was his vision? And he had a very simple one: a warm home and family, one that serves the community and the world together, through ministry and also healthcare service. At the time, I was thinking, OMG, that's exactly what I want. We need to be together.
12 days after we met, I wrote this note. It was then that I decided to have a DTR, or define the relationship, with Donata 2 weeks into the program. I told her I liked her, but because we didn't know each other well, I suggested being friends with the intention of dating in the future.
I was so relieved that he confessed his feelings. I really wanted to date Jason after the preceptorship was over, and I told him that. I showed him my prayer journal and some of the things I wrote to God about him.
I was a bit more hesitant because I'm just a more cautious person that likes to take things slow. But I was falling hard for Donata and wanted to spend more time as friends. When she showed me her prayer journal, my heart was so touched.
In the end, we decided to pursue friendship first, and that we would talk again at the end of our 5-week program.
After the preceptorship was coming to a close, we were in Arizona. I had prayed a lot about it and talked with friends and mentors. While we were in my car overlooking the cliffs, I was reminded of the cliffs we overlooked at the beach when I first really started to like her. At that moment, I told her I wanted to start dating her right after the preceptorship was over, and it was the best decision of my life.
I was nervous about our second DTR, but God's peace was with me. I was so giddy and happy after the moment that he said he wanted to date. On our last night together, we were looking up at the stars and talking about what long distance would look like. I would be back home in Boston at Simmons, and Jason would be in California finishing medical school. We saw an airplane fly by in the sky and wondered out loud where it was going. And I remember Jason saying something like, "Someday that'll be me on a plane coming to see you." Though our entire relationship for 2.5 years has been long distance, I feel like we've grown so much because of it. With nothing to rely on but communication and friendship, we grew so much in trust and learned how to be there for each other while not being able to be physically with each other. I'm so excited to marry Jason, to start our lives together, and finally end the distance.
After dating Donata for over 2.5 years, though it has almost all exclusively been long distance, I felt like God was preparing the both of us for each other. As I look back, I see God's faithfulness in crafting our love story and ultimately bringing us together. Though in the beginning, I was hesitant to date Donata right off the bat in our first DTR. As we started dating, walking with each other through life, I never hesitated again. In fact, I've been trying to get her to marry me ever since. She's so beautiful.
stop to close my eyes. She's exactly what I need. Yeah. She's soothing like the ocean rushing on the sand. She takes care of me, baby. She helps me be a better man. She's so beautiful. Sometimes I stop to close my eyes. She's exactly